Have you ever stopped in the middle of an ordinary day and thought to yourself, "Am I doing okay?" Not in a worried way, but in a quiet, wondering kind of way. Because when you reach your 70s, the world around you is full of numbers and charts and warnings, and it can be easy to forget that aging well is not always about what your doctor measures. Sometimes it shows up in the smallest, most ordinary moments of your day, and those moments, quiet as they are, tell you more than any test ever could. If you are in your 60s or 70s, you have earned something that younger people simply do not have yet. You have earned perspective. You know what hard looks like. And you know what getting through it feels like too. But even with all that wisdom, it is natural to wonder whether your body and your mind are holding up the way they should. That is exactly why this video exists. Today, we are going to talk about 5 things that, if they feel effortless in your daily life, are a quiet and beautiful sign that you are aging remarkably well. This one was made just for you. Point 1. Waking up each morning without a heaviness in your heart. There is something deeply powerful about the way a day begins. Not just whether your knees ache when you first stand up, but what happens inside your chest in those first few quiet minutes of the morning. When you open your eyes and feel a gentle sense of calm, even a soft, low-key willingness to face whatever the day brings, that is not something small. That is something extraordinary. For many people, aging comes with an emotional weight that nobody talks about enough. The fear of being forgotten, the grief of losing people you loved, the quiet worry about what comes next. These feelings are real, and they deserve to be acknowledged with kindness. But here is what researchers who study aging have observed again and again. Older adults who are truly thriving tend to wake up without that heavy, sinking dread. They may feel a little stiff, they may move a little slower, but emotionally, there is a kind of okayness that greets them in the morning. Think of a man named Raymond, who at 73 lives alone in a small house with a garden he tends to every single day. Raymond lost his wife 4 years ago. Life has not been easy, and yet, when he wakes up each morning, he says the first thing he feels is a quiet gratitude. Not for anything in particular, but just for the fact that there is another day. That feeling, that gentle, uncomplicated readiness to be alive, is one of the clearest signs that a person is aging with grace and with strength. If your mornings feel more peaceful than painful, emotionally speaking, please take a moment to recognize that as a genuine gift you have given yourself through years of living and learning. Point 2. Moving through your day without pain stealing your attention. The body at 70 is not the body at 40, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Every year of living leaves its mark, and those marks are proof of a life fully lived. But there is a meaningful difference between the natural stiffness that comes and goes and the kind of pain that follows you from room to room and makes every simple task feel like a battle. When movement feels manageable, when you can walk to the kitchen, sit down in your favorite chair, tend to your garden, or make your way through a grocery store without pain demanding your full attention, that is your body telling you that it is still working with you rather than against you. This ease of movement, even if it is slower and more careful than it once was, is one of the most reliable signs of healthy aging. A woman named Dorothy, age 68, used to assume that daily aching was simply what getting older meant. Then she began paying attention and realized that on the days she moved gently but regularly, even just a slow walk around the block, she felt more like herself. Her movement was not effortless in the way it was at 30, but it was manageable, and manageable is a form of freedom that deserves to be celebrated. If you can move through your day without pain becoming the main character of your story, your body is doing something quietly remarkable, and that is worth honoring. Before we move on, I want to ask you a gentle question. When you think about your own mornings and your own movement through the day, which part of life feels the most effortless to you right now? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. And if this video is helping you, please like it, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe to the Wisdom Vault. Also, please watch until the very end, because the points ahead are just as important and may truly make a difference in your life. Point 3. Remembering what truly matters without struggling to grasp it. Memory is one of the most talked about concerns among people over 65, and it is worth speaking about honestly and with care. Yes, it is normal to occasionally forget where you placed your glasses or the name of someone you met briefly at a gathering. That kind of forgetting is part of being human at any age. What matters far more is whether you can remember the things that carry real weight in your life. When you can recall the details of a conversation you had with your grandchild last week. When you can follow the thread of a story or a piece of news without losing yourself halfway through. When you remember the things you love and the things that matter to you with clarity and warmth. That is your mind doing something wonderful. It is staying connected to your life. Think of a gentleman named Arthur, who at 71 will tell you with a chuckle that he sometimes forgets what he walked into the kitchen for. But Arthur can tell you the exact words his father said to him on the day he got married. He remembers his children's birthdays without looking them up. He remembers the names of the neighbors he has known for 30 years and the kindnesses they showed him during a difficult winter long ago. That kind of memory, deep, emotional, relational memory, is the kind that aging well tends to protect most fiercely. If your mind holds on to what is meaningful, even as it lets go of what is trivial, that is not decline. That is wisdom at work. Point 4. Feeling genuinely connected to the people around you. Loneliness is one of the most serious health concerns for older adults, and yet it is also one of the least talked about in everyday conversation. The need to feel connected, to feel like you belong somewhere and to someone, does not fade with age. If anything, it deepens. So when connection comes with ease, when you have people in your life you can call, laugh with, or simply sit beside in comfortable silence, that is one of the most powerful signs of a life that is aging beautifully. Connection does not require a large social circle or a packed calendar. A single friendship that feels safe, warm, and honest is worth more than a dozen surface-level acquaintances. Think of a woman named Margaret, who turned 72 last spring and lost many of her closest friends over the years. Instead of retreating, she joined a small Tuesday morning group at her local library. Within a few months, she found 2 friendships she describes as the most honest she has ever had. That openness, that continued willingness to reach toward others, is both a sign and a source of aging well. If you feel connected, even to just 1 or 2 people who truly see you, hold that quietly and with gratitude, because it is more valuable than almost anything else. Point 5. Finding meaning in the small, ordinary moments of every day. There is a certain kind of wisdom that only time can teach, and it is this: life does not live in the big milestones or grand celebrations. It lives in the small things. The morning cup of tea, the familiar smell of your home after a walk outside, the grandchild's drawing on the refrigerator. When these ordinary moments still catch your attention and bring you a flicker of warmth, your inner life is doing something truly remarkable. A sense of meaning does not have to be grand or philosophical. For most people over 65 who are aging beautifully, meaning shows up in the quiet rhythms of a day that feels like it belongs to them. When you wake up with something to look forward to, even something as simple as a good book or a phone call with someone you love, you are living with purpose. And that purpose is one of the greatest protectors of both the mind and the heart. When ordinary moments still feel worth being present for, you are not just surviving your 70s. You are truly living them. Closing: if even a few of these 5 things feel familiar to you, please hear this clearly. You are doing better than you know. Aging well is not about perfection or feeling 20 again. It is about still being present, still connected, still finding something small worth smiling about each day. That is not ordinary. That is quietly extraordinary. If this video brought you some comfort today, please share it with someone who might need to hear it too. Like this video, subscribe to the Wisdom Vault, and know that this channel is here for you every single week, made with care and made with you in mind. Take good care of yourself. You have truly earned it.